SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Yes, good morning, viewers around the world. You're welcome to SSM Wednesday African Updates. You are welcome. My name is Godwin Iweajunwa, and I'm here with my colleagues, my coordinators from Lagos, Nigeria. Is Olayinka Raji. Raji, good morning. Welcome to Wednesday African Update.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, viewers around the world. Welcome. You are all welcome to today's awesome program.
Yeah.
Global
Yes,
Africa.
Yes. Oh, can you hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you
hear
clearly,
me,
yes.
Raji? Can you hear my voice?
I can hear you clearly.
Good. Please, we need your good. We need the network to be stable. So you're welcome, Raji. Raji, how is it in Nigeria this morning in Lagos? How is it?
Well, the weather is cool. There's no trouble from the people. Just that there seems to be some trouble coming from the government. I read recently that the government has started has clamped down on about $37 million in cryptocurrency belonging to suspected people who might have supported or might have pushed the protest. I don't know why the government is now getting into persecution mode.
Okay, you're going to tell us more, Raji. This is a new one. I think this is coming this morning. Very good. Yeah. Our viewers, you are tuned into our Global Africa Update. Yes, this is where we give exclusive reporting of issues plus inside scope on important issues. Raji, let's begin with let's do some follow-up to the news we did on Monday. On Monday we talked about there's something they said about the diaspora, Nigerian diaspora supporting the protests also, like you are saying. And yes, the immigration officer, the boss in the immigration agency said there are some diasporas sponsoring the protests and that they have them on their watch list. So what we did is reach out to some of the diaspora organizations in Europe and United States and told them to come up with a rejoinder, something to refute that claim, because it is not true. Diaspora has nothing to do with that protest. From our research, you can't incite a hungry man to protest. It is hunger and starvation that incites a hungry man to protest, not people. A hungry man doesn't need anybody to tell him you have to talk. It's a spontaneous thing that comes out of you. You just say, you begin to shout, I'm hungry. So saying that the diaspora is behind that is very ridiculous. So we've reached out to some of those agencies in the diaspora, telling them to don't sit there and let them cow you to a corner. Make a rejoinder, say something, or else these people will think it is a diaspora that is sponsoring that protest. So that is one of the follow-up. The other follow-up is also on the eye-opening statement by our former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, when he said the senators are earning salary from their own. Yes, he said they are just doing it unconstitutionally. So what we found out truly is senators are earning salaries, big money is being paid to. They are taking away as monthly package, 1 million naira per month, like we found out. This is excluding the allowances they also earn, allowances on vehicle, allowances on maintenance, allowances on personal assistance, allowances on domestic staff, entertainment, newspaper. Do you imagine to read newspaper? There's an allowance for that every month to read newspaper. The senators get allowance for that. Allowances on their homes and something they called constituency allowance. So at the end of the month, they are probably going home with 4 to 5 million naira, excluding the 1 million naira that is their monthly take home. So, Raji, this is what we found out. What will you say about that before we move on?
First, I want to go on the protest. You know,
Okay.
I had mentioned before that the protest was preventable.
Mm-hmm.
And that the government is not going to prevent it because it's going to use it as an excuse to oppress the people. And
Okay.
it is panning out as I predicted.
Okay.
I could easily read the mind of the government. You see, rather than prevent it. So what they did now was to try and see, okay, who are the organizers, who are the supporters, and anybody who more or less showed a positive aspect to that protest becomes a wanted person on the list of the government. Yes.
Yes.
And it is very, very petty. It shows how immature this government is. It is very, very petty. The government we have in place is not ready for governance. It's ready for oppression. It's not ready for governance. So it will always stimulate some controversy, some distraction that will keep it will keep the people constantly agitated against each other. And then before they know what is happening, some things are happening that they become astounded to the extent that they can't even respond or react anymore. We understand it now. This government is not interested in governance. It's interested in wasting our resources. It's interested in profligate expenditure. It's interested in anti-people policies that will further impoverish the people. And it is not right. It is not fair.
Okay.
It's not fair. It's not even fair to him. Sorry. It's not even fair to Tinubu himself that within a year of his coming in, people are missing Buhari's regime.
Can you imagine
think
this?
about that?
Okay, in lieu to what you're saying, we got some the hashtag end bad governance. We have some updates on that, and we found out that number one thing we found out is the Abuja protesters have been restrained from having public protests. So they've been confined to. They say if they are going to protest, it has to be in the stadium. This is coming this morning. So the judge has granted a request, and but they will be confined to the stadium. They won't do it like they normally do, walking through roads and streets.
So where is the stadium? The stadium is about 10 kilometers out of town.
So what that means is it's just that's no protest. You don't protest in a confined place. And you're just walking in a place where nobody's seeing you. You can't even make any impact. Then also in Kaduna, Zaria, we had that there is a dusk to dawn curfew. The dusk to dawn curfew has been relaxed. It's been removed as of this morning. Yes, yesterday night. So people can move around, but still they are being watched if they go into any protests. Also, in Abuja again, those people, remember the guys that were raising the Russian flag, those young people, yes. So this morning we heard they've been taken to Abuja, those sponsoring it. They've been taken to Abuja to face the law, 6 of the suspects said were apprehended for alleged involvement in destruction and looting of goods and things in Kanu. So they've all been taken to Abuja to face the court, and we'll get to know who was behind that whole thing. It was really very interesting. Also, on the bad governance update, we have a story from also from Yobe in Potiskum, Yobe State is saying the dusk to dawn curfew. That's Yobe State. So these are some of the things we have on that end bad governance protest. Some update that is coming. So what do you say? You said the constraining them to the stadium doesn't make any sense in Abuja.
Doesn't make any sense. No. When the APC were protesting against Tinubu, against Jonathan's government, were they restrained? Did they even get? They were lawless in their protest, and Jonathan, being a gentleman, allowed it. They were lawless in their protest.
Jonathan, being a gentleman, allowed it.
Okay. Jonathan was a gentleman. Yes.
Yes. So now we come back to what you were saying and the monthly salary thing of the senators. What do you think? Are these people not going home with too much money and doing nothing, doing little? I mean, how do you go home with almost 5 million naira a month and the constituent you probably represent doesn't have electricity, people are out of school, nothing, no food, no anything for anybody. And the man is going home with this amount of money every morning, every month.
You see, what you have to realize is that even in the electoral process, the candidate took it as an investment. So that when they get into government, they have to recover their investment. Those who lost elections lost their investment. Those who won now need return on their investment, and that's exactly what they are doing. They are trading with this country.
You're trading. You're using us to trade. Okay. Yes. Also, we're hearing that the refinery production in Port Harcourt that was supposed to kick off this month, last month, have been postponed. They've postponed it again, and later the NNPC will complain, will say it is Dangote's fault. Meanwhile, machineries at their own disposal are not being utilized. So, what's the essence? What will you say about that?
So now you can see that, you see, the government, or maybe let me take it to NNPC. The NNPC, being very, very childish, is taking the country taking the people of the country for fools. We have heard so many times when they have promised us that, the refinery will come on steam by this month, and then they'll postpone it. It started as far back as 2023. Now we are almost at the tail end of 2024, and we are still getting postponements. They had better not tell us when it is coming on stream, so that we will not even raise our hopes about anything.
So we will not even raise our hopes.
It is very, very unfair. And then who is the Minister of Petroleum? It is the Mr. President. So it seems as if even his government is such a bunch of rabbles that you don't even know whether there's any coordination in governance. Which showed in our preparation for Olympics.
Okay, while we're talking, our DIVA coordinator in Lagos, he has joined us. BD Nana, you're welcome to SSM Wednesday African Update. BD.
Good morning. Thanks for having me here today. Yeah, thanks. Good morning. Thanks for having me here today.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Okay, I'll still follow up on.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, yes, we had you. You're welcome, BD. So, still a follow-up story. We like to do follow-ups to previous discussion. We had something, Raji and BD. Our lady, the contestant for Miss SA, the one that pulled out. We had she has really gotten to not too good state. There are reports that she even attempted suicide. So I'm talking of Chidima Adeshino. Yes. The report we got yesterday wasn't too good. But we said this probably has brought her out, and she has more support, more fans. So, but for her to have gone down this low, probably it really affected her psyche, affected her emotionally. Raji, what do you think? What do you say about this? This report
I think
authentic.
I think we should be taking very, very good notice about the emotional development of our children.
Okay.
How they cannot even they are unable to take up a lot of pressure and are ready to throw it all away. I think it is rather dramatic of her to be attempting suicide. She's had so much support from Nigerians and people in South Africa. He has been extended an invitation to come and contest in the beauty pageant in Nigeria. So I don't see why it should be going that low without the support. Yes.
She got the support. BD, did you hear the news? It's verified news. Yes. They said she relegated to that level of emotional trauma. Tell us, what did you know? BD, I think her frame is frozen.
Our audio.
Okay. So anyway, yes, you said it well, Raji. She has been given an open arm to participate. Yes, represent Nigeria, but anyhow, Raji, whatever we may say, it will really take a drain on her, because this is where she has grown. This is where she knows. These are people she thought are her people, and all of a sudden, the peers she grew up with, people she grew up with became the enemy. So for her age, that could be very, very devastating. Very, very. Yes, it could affect. Maybe me and you can match up that encounter, but somebody like her, she's too small. So realizing this, all of a sudden,
she's 23, I think.
Yes. So realizing that the people she thought were her people don't like her, don't want her, that could really devastate a person. BD, are you back? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Good.
Okay, we can hear you too.
Yeah, we can hear you too. So
can I respond?
Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, I actually have following the news. What happened in South Africa? Yeah, we learned that Chidima tried to commit suicide. The problem is that it's not just unseating her from the beauty pageant was the issue. We noticed that people were bullying her as a person. The South Africans were bullying her. They were going direct to her page, trying to bully her. Raji was actually correct there. The way we train our children, the way we groom our children these days, we don't grow them with this inner toughness to withstand challenges. And that's why should she even attend that? No, not to think that even a Silverbird in Nigeria have even offered her to come and contest in their platform. Do you understand? Now, she's not going to go through the processing, the buying for her. They just say, come and contest in our platform. I think people have been giving her the necessary support she needs. Taking that route is really a bad one, and it goes a lot to show how her upbringing was. You know, when you have children, when you bring up children, you let them understand that everything they want, they will get. That's what you see. But thank God she didn't do it. But another thing, it says a lot about us as Africans. You know, we keep talking, we want freedom, we want this, we want this. We can't actually get any freedom when in us we have not actually paid attention to freeing ourselves from inside. If you see what is happening in South Africans, maybe probably they should start behaving like Moroccans who don't, you know, believe that they are Africans. South Africans, in everything, in every way, they always prefer white to Africans, to blacks. It has been their way. It has been their things. I'm telling you, I think South Africans need, they need a very serious reorientation as Africans. If they actually truly wants to be Africans, they have a very big problem.
Yes, we observed the list of past winners of their Miss Essay contest, beauty contest, and we found out that a black colored person have never won it. It has always been the white colored contestants. So really, somehow, the apartheid has really damaged their self-esteem.
Their psychology,
right?
yes.
What do you say?
The apartheid has eroded their self-dignity, and that
Seriously.
very few South Africans can look a white man in the eye. It's like what has happened to the Hausa in Nigeria. They are afraid of the Fulani, regardless of what they see. And then what is the number of Fulani people across the north, where there's a Fulani man? A Hausa man will never be governor. Even in the mosques. So it is a decades or maybe centuries of psychological damage that has happened to their self-esteem, and the apartheid ensured.
I'm telling you, they have a very serious mental and psychological damage on them. And unfortunately, they don't know this. They don't know it, and it's a big problem to them.
It is opaque to them. It is opaque to them.
They always get
when
Africans.
And the whites ensure that any black man who had confidence in himself was destroyed. Like they did to Chris Hani, that they did to Steve Biko, that they did to Watasi Bukwe, and all the other persons who were stronger than Mandela in their psychology. Mandela was easily the weakest among them, so they could negotiate with him.
Strong view there. Yes, thank you, Raji. That's it, viewers. So those are some follow-ups to what we've been discussing other times. The BD, we just talked about a follow-up also of what our former president said about the Senate, the senators earning unconstitutional salary. They just fix they make their own personal fixture on what they take home. And what we did was check on what they earn. We found out that monthly, each senator goes home with ₦1 million. That's excluding all the allowances, motor vehicle allowance, maintenance allowance, personal assistant allowance, domestic staff allowance, entertainment allowance. They even have newspaper allowance. They have a wardrobe allowance, and they have house maintenance allowance. And each of these allowances is not small money. Motor maintenance, for example, is
millions.
Yes, million. So in a month, one senator that is doing nothing but sitting down in that red chamber, one senator is going home with close to 7 to 8 million naira thereabout for doing nothing, just sitting down and supporting bills that only supports the presidency and not the citizens. Tell us. Tell us,
let me
BD.
tell you, there's something you did not remember. They have what they call hardship allowance. What Nigerians are going through now, they're actually paying our senators for that. They have what is called hardship allowance. They are receiving it now, our senators. On just sitting down.
Viewers,
And
are you
what you
listening?
mentioned is just the basic. That's the basic allowance they get on monthly basis. It's excluding when they travel, and the travel includes when they travel from Abuja to Nasarawa, they get allowance for that. When they travel from Abuja to Kaduna, I'm just telling you how close those places are. They get allowance for that. And not only them getting, when they go with their staff or when they go with their family members, it depends on how many names they submit. They still get allowance on that. Do you understand? So the truth is this: the people who have in power now goes down to what former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, said just a few days ago, that a lot of people in the hands of affairs in Nigeria today supposed to be in prison, and that is true. And that keeps bringing me to what I keep saying. You know, we Nigerians will pride ourselves to be intelligent. We can be intelligent and we have riffraff, hooligans ruling us in this country. Each time I keep wondering, what kind of intelligence is that? I'm telling you, we're just smart. Yes, we're just smart. And what has made us smart is the hardship we've gone through has made us become so hard and so soft that we will find a way to come out in every situation we find ourselves. We are not intelligent, because if we are intelligent, the kind of people that are ruling Nigerians will not be ruling Nigerians. And average Nigerians will not be going to bed on empty stomachs. And senators who are sitting there doing nothing, some of those senators, they will sit there from 1 year to 4 years. They will never propose any bill that is human friendly. And look at what they get on monthly basis. Now calculate it on annual basis. And that is not alone. After these people have left office, they are still receiving some allowances. And you tell me we're intelligent? No. We're far from being intelligent. We are just surviving. You know, that instinct of survivor that every Nigerian brings out in difficult situations is what we have. We're not intelligent.
Strong words from BD. Viewers, we are talking Wednesday African update, and this time it's a satellite on the senators, the senatorial angle of Nigerian leadership, earning humongous salary for doing nothing. Anyway, it's important we say this. BD and Raji, we have come to a time when Nigerians should be more than ever before begin to fix their eyes on governance. There is no better way. You see, democracy, like a lot of people are saying, is bad, is that. But if we all have our eyes, we are following what is happening, we are following them neck to neck, back to back on all of their actions, then democracy might begin to see some dividends. We might begin to see some good out of it, you see? So, but when the citizens also don't care, everybody takes their eyes away, people feel, well, it doesn't concern me, it is their life, it's their thing, then that's how democracy will be plunged into a no achieving form of governance. Raji, what do you think?
Yes, I agree with you. But the fact that, you see, the National Assembly doesn't sit every day. Normally, what they should be paid will be sitting allowances.
Okay.
In the United States, whose governance we covered, we copied. A senator comes to Washington and finds his own accommodation. A lot of them, even sometimes the Senate president may be sleeping in his office. Meanwhile, they don't have what our senators call hardship allowance. Our senators are living like kings, and they are still demanding hardship allowance from us. They came from their shabby locations, in whatever state they came from, to be living in palaces in Abuja and living big. And then they're asking for hardship allowance. You know, I think the whole thing started actually with Obasanjo when he was trying to pacify them so that they will not impeach him, and then when he was trying to bribe them so that they will give him a third term. You know, and so when Obasanjo says that a lot of them should be in prison, he should count himself as one of them, because he's essentially one of the culprits to the situation that we face now. Yes, having said that, there should be a body that should determine the salaries and emoluments of the National Assembly members, not themselves.
Not themselves. That's it. No. Not themselves. Okay. Thank you, Raji. Thank you. Yeah. So our viewers will be back. Our viewers, you're tuned in to Wednesday Global Africa update. And Raji, PD, and myself were giving the update. We'll be back.
This is everything you need to marry a Nigerian girl. Her father gave me a list of 39 items, which include a live goat. The first place I went was the bulk food market to gather the yam, palm oil, baskets of fruit, and dried fish known as This is everything you need to marry a Nigerian girl. Her father gave me a list of 39 items, which include a live goat. The first place I went was the bulk food market to gather the yam, palm oil, baskets of fruit, and dried fish known as eja osun. And it's not just 1 yam or liter of palm oil. I am buying large quantities. It was pouring rain and I rented boots to make it through the mud, but it is worth it to marry my beautiful bride. In Nigeria, they practice dowry for marriage, paid to the family. In the Yoruba culture, each item is symbolic and not really a payment to the family, but rather proving your worth to marry her. And prove it I did by next heading to the goat market, where I spoke with a house of men to find the meatiest goat. This is the one I picked, and surprisingly, the goat at only $40 is one of the cheapest items on the list. This can't be done in one day, so after the rain cleared, I went to Mushin Main Market to find the kola nut, both bitter and regular, the alligator pepper, the adun, which specifically said I needed to buy plenty, and bottle of raw honey, which symbolizes that our marriage will be sweet. Next, I had to gather biscuits, bulk packs of different drinks, wine, and semen schnapps, as well as a suitcase full of new clothes for my fiancé to prove I can provide for her in the marriage, and lastly, the marriage Bible, as God will always come first. It is possible to pay someone to buy these items, but for me, I wanted the experience myself. Finally, we brought all these items to the family home for the wedding day. It is not easy to marry a Yoruba girl, but my bride is strong, smart, loving, beautiful, and completely worth it.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerian soul are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.
Yes, we're back. Raji, we're back. We're back to all the updates. Yes, Raji, there is a beautiful one yesterday. Yesterday we had there was the National Council of State meeting and also the Nigerian Governors Forum. And that National Council of State includes past presidents and some leaders of Nigeria. Now, what we saw there was, apart from Obasanjo, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and former President Babangida, all the other ones were there. The other leaders were there, governors, and they all passed a vote of confidence on Tinubu's leadership. A vote of confidence on Tinubu's leadership. So, regardless of what we're saying, we can say all we can say. Whatever we're saying, whatever the protesters are saying, whatever the citizens are saying, the leadership, the past leadership of Nigeria says Tinubu is doing well. Tinubu is so a vote of confidence means the trust the leadership, the government is doing well, things are moving fine, and they can carry on. Raji, what's your take on this one?
I didn't expect them to say anything else because they are elders. Elders have a way of saying things, and like they say, a word is enough for the wise. The president himself knows that things are not doing well. So if apart from, we don't know whatever was discussed in house, but we will know that that is the public statement they will make, that they give him a form. Otherwise, are they going to remove him? They can't remove him, and there's nothing else they can do other than to say they give him a vote of confidence, hoping that the Omoluabi in him will listen to them and will be able to do the things right. But I don't think Tinubu is going to change his ways, because
the Omoluabi in him will do things right.
Yes. If there's any Omoluabi in him, yes.
If there's anyone. Okay, now let's look at these two major figures that were absent. General Ibrahim Babangida was absent in that meeting. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo was absent. Now, if you just said the elders have a way of doing their things, now these are elders too, but they probably don't want to hide their feeling. They don't want to deceive anybody with false impression, and meanwhile they are saying something else. So they didn't attend, they didn't come there, they weren't there, they didn't want to be part to any vote of confidence, and that sends a message. That sends a strong message to Nigerians. These two elders, these two past presidents, are also the two major figures in our past leadership. So them not being there says a lot. Raji, can you hear me? Are you there, Raji?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yes.
Okay. So I was talking
Yeah, I can hear you, yes.
Two notable figures that were not there, that were absent. General Babangida and former President Olusegun Obasanjo. And I said, if you use the word, elders know how to go about things meticulously, but these are two elders, and they decided not to pretend. They didn't come. They don't want to be part of a vote of no confidence, a vote of confidence. So what will you say of their absence, Olusegun Obasanjo and Babangida?
So it's not so much as they don't want to be part of a vote of confidence. First, with Babangida, I don't think Babangida is fit enough to travel much. As for Obasanjo, I'm sure, being an elder, there are certain elders that you cannot allow them to keep quiet.
No. Raji, you're a tech man. The world has evolved. The world has moved on. The meetings are done hybrid, both virtually and physically now. So the presidency has the power to arrange a hybrid meeting and have.
I agree. But
so
you will not be part, whether hybrid or whatever. The proceedings during the meeting will not be public, will not be made public. The public statement that their spokesman said after the meeting, that okay, they have a vote of confidence in, will still be the same way. You will not listen to the proceedings. So I'm talking to you about Obasanjo, who is more or less like a loose cannon, whom you cannot restrain. So that if he were of the Council of State meeting to give a public statement, it will be difficult for him to be part of the meeting and to agree with their vote of confidence. So that's why to show his king, he probably decided not to go. But I don't think it was a habit.
Let me take it that what you're saying is a tangible excuse, but man, I wouldn't fall for that. I think they were both saying outrightly that they are not in support of the governance of that leadership of
you can say that from their body movement, yeah.
Because we've had whispers from both ends, and I mean Obasanjo before that yesterday was giving press statements and saying a lot of things about this leadership, this governance. So
yes,
they both didn't want to be part of that. That's my own view. Anyway, viewers, go ahead.
You may say so. Yes, it's a matter of opinion.
It's a matter of opinion.
Unless you go to take it from Obasanjo himself's mouth. Okay, why didn't you go for the meeting?
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on. Also, before we go further, we just had the news that our president Tinubu is on his way to Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea this morning. Equatorial Guinea viewers, it's one country in the center of Africa. Equatorial Guinea is very rich country. Also, there's a map of Equatorial Guinea there. You can see in the center of Africa, rich country.
Rich.
Now they have that president there. They have that president there, Obiango. Obiango has been president since 1979. So my question here now, Raji, is how do we relate? How does our president relate to the president that has been like a king? I mean, that man has been there all his life, and he doesn't look like he's even backing down. Probably death alone might take him out. So how do we have such a relationship? The presidency, through the publicity and media secretary, said that it was a special invitation from the president of Equatorial Guinea, Tedaro Obianga, and he said that there probably will be some
the frames are frozen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I can hear you.
The question, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about going to Equatorial Guinea. How do you see such visits?
You mentioned that the country is very rich. Now I was saying it on the background that a very rich country with very, very poor people. Very, very rich country, but very, very poor people. In fact, the is it age limit of the what do they call it now? Of Equatorial Guineans is less than 50. They have less than 50, and they are very, very impoverished people. It's only the president and his people who are very rich. Perhaps I don't know Tinubu's intention. I hope he will not go to ask the man about how he was able to stay in power for so long, so that he can also try it here, but he can't. It's very, very unfortunate.
It's very, very unfortunate.
He's been there for almost 50 years. Yes.
Yes, our beautiful country, Equatorial Guinea, right in the center of Africa. It has it has a population of about 1,040,000 people, and like you said, a lot of the people are living under very poor line. It's also a colony of the Spanish Guinea before it became independent on its own. And the president has been there since 1979. Crazy. Now, Equatorial Guinea has, like we said, very, very rich, a lot of natural resources the world sought after is right there at the center of that country. And the president, Nigerian president, will be with him. I think by now he's gone, and we probably don't know what they'll be discussing, what ties we could have, diplomatic relationship we could have. Anyway, that's it. Raji, any other thing to add to this?
I hope they will discuss about getting crude from Equatorial Guinea, but I don't know. I don't think that they have any refineries, and I think that they have enough crude to at least to supplement whatever Dangote and other refineries in Nigeria may need.
Okay, so let's come to other news now. One other news making headline is the NHS. The NHS in the UK says that 67% of his workforce are Nigerian doctors practicing in the UK. So if they leave, that means the NHS UK might just collapse. Raji. So, but what that means also is that a big chunk of our doctors are not in Nigeria. So what we have, this brain drain we talk about is really serious. These educated doctors, certified doctors are using their experience elsewhere, leaving 200 and something million people under very poor health condition, poor health assistance. Raji, this is coming from the Minister of Health, Ali Pate. The minister says, that's the minister there. He says 67% of Nigerian doctors are practicing in the UK with NHS. And if they leave, that will mean a big blow to the United Kingdom health sector. So there we go. 67%.
They are not going to leave anytime soon, because what will be the alternative?
What will be the
alternative? I have friends who are medical doctors who spend maybe 1 month or 3 months in Nigeria and all the other time in the NHS system in UK.
Okay.
And then they make enough money to come to invest in Nigeria, and then they get frustrated, so they stop investment, and then they stick to working in the UK.
They stick to working in the UK. Oh boy. Okay, that's it. So now we know what makes up that number of employment for the UK. 67%. That's a huge number anyway, Raji. Big number. We move further to, but once again, I want to just repeat this. Raji, is good. We keep repeating it as we go on on this network. What I want to repeat, Raji, is the fact that Nigerians should really, really begin to fix their eyes on governance. It's time we put our eye, we put our focus. It's time we stop this. It doesn't concern me. They can do whatever they want. It's time we put our eye on the governance in Nigeria, all politics, politicians, and every of those aspects of our leadership. It's time. No more staying by the backside, no more looking things from the corner. Let's get involved. Raji, you affirm to that? Okay, I think his network is frozen. So we go on with more news. One of the news we are having this morning is that EU is warning Elon Musk. Elon Musk, the owner of Twitter, former Twitter, that now X. EU is warning him of illegal content, that there are people using his platform, the X platform, to push illegal content and create problems. We know the last protest in the UK was from informations passed around on Twitter. And some of those informations, like they say, were not correct. They were not authentic. They were not verified informations. So illegal content on X is causing trouble. So EU is warning the X owner, Elon Musk. Elon Musk is being told that his platform is generating falsehood, misinformation, inciting riots, and inciting a lot of bickering among people. So this is EU information coming to us, Elon Musk's platform. Yes, thank you. So viewers, you're tuned into SSM Wednesday African updates, and we've pretty gone through some of the updates here today. We hope you've been briefed, you've been updated with some of the major occurrences. We talked about the NHS having 67% of Nigerian doctors. We talked about our president. By this time, he's there at the Equatorial Guinea, meeting with the president of Equatorial Guinea, Teodoro Obiang. We talked about the vote of confidence some presidents, past presidents, and governors have placed on Tinubu's presidency. So on this note, we want to bring today's broadcast to an end. Hope you join us Friday for our global updates. So until then, have a beautiful day, and the midweek, enjoy the midweek. The sun is still blasting in Western Europe. So until we come your way again, it's bye-bye. Thank you.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa. SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West Africa.